EarthtonesGirl channel. My name is Denise, and this is Earth Vlog number 61. Welcome to returning viewers. Welcome back to new viewers. I am so happy that you have found my earthy corner of the web. You are so welcome here. And yeah, it's October. It's actually October 26th. Oh my gosh, the month is almost over. I really do not understand how this month has flown by. I mean, this whole year is going by fast, but for some reason, this month has been a blink. I really do feel like I was just in front of the camera chatting, and there were so many good things coming up, and they're almost now at the end. We're almost at the end of all of those good things I was looking forward to. This month has been so fast. The beginning of the month. So, okay, my last episode was right at the end of September, and we jumped right into October, and Falling Leaf Sock Cal was entering its second month. Socktober was kicking off on October 1st, and that is a month-long celebration of all things socks. And I'm going to talk about I've got some sock knitting to share with you, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But just, at Casa de EarthtonesGirl, what's been happening? My son turned 7. We had his birthday at the beginning of the month, which was wonderful. He had a small party with some friends, and the next day we had family over. And the weather, we couldn't have asked for better weather. He was just so happy, and I can't believe my baby is, like, my little boy is 7, and he's so grown up. The things that he says, the way he's expressing himself, it's just, I feel like he turned a corner. I feel like there's been a lot of that this month, but he just turned this corner, and he's like, I'm not a baby anymore, Mom. And, getting himself dressed. I mean, he's been doing that for a little while, but like really no help. Like, leave me alone. I got this. So it's been very emotional watching him. In a good way, but just watching him grow. And my daughter and I are now looking at high schools. Just, oh my gosh, the school year, again, I don't understand what's happened to time. This fall has been fast, really fast. I usually feel like I can sink into fall and enjoy it, and it's just flying. I feel like she just started school. September feels like 2 seconds ago, and but now we're looking at high schools. We are early. She's in 7th grade. We are really early, but a year early. But both of us, I know her and I know myself, and we can both feel overwhelmed when there's a lot of decisions to be made and tests to take and things to do. So I just thought it would be good for both of us, me in processing all the information and her in trying to make a decision and take exams and look at schools. I thought it would be better if we started a year early and just take our time with this process. And it has been the best decision. She is so happy and excited, and it's been really great. And we're looking at schools. We live in Yonkers, New York, so we're looking at schools here in the Westchester area, and there's going to be that she's going to be traveling, not her first year necessarily, but it's all the things. She's like, Mom, can we take the train? Not the subway. We are not far from the New York City subway, but the Metro North, we have a Hudson line and a Harlem line. So those are above ground trains that run along the rivers. And for those of you outside of New York and the US, and she wants to take the rides. She's never been on a city bus, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I drive my kids everywhere. So there's been a lot of learning, and she wants to try all of these new things so she'll be ready for high school. And even though we still have, close to 2 years, I love how much she wants to prepare. So that's been a really, it's been a very emotional month, watching my son, watching my daughter, and watching them grow and need me a little bit less. I don't like it. There, I've said it. I don't like it. And it's interesting, but I thought that would give me more time to be here. But I think what's happening is it's making me want to spend more time with them, because I'm starting to feel like deep down in my mama bear core that that's going to end And I'm at the beginning of that end. And I know my children will always want me and always need me. I'd like to think so. I'd like to hope so. But it's just interesting feeling that shift and spending time with them. And it's been a really good month. Really, really great. So we have been leaf peeping, as you saw from the opening videos, lots of walking and looking at leaves. The color is beautiful here, although it's not as colorful as it has been in past Octobers, but we're still enjoying it. And we did our annual Great Pumpkin. I want to get it right. It's the Great Jack-o'-lantern Blaze in historic Hudson Valley, and we do that every year. It is wonderful. It is an outdoor pumpkin festival with, I can't even begin to count how many hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands and thousands of hand-carved pumpkins that are put in the most elaborate designs, and the carvings are elaborate. And we do this every year. We've been doing it for about 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. It's the best. It is the absolute best. So I am going to stop talking and let you all enjoy that. I hope you like it. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh. And to see it, I mean, watching the videos is great, but to see it in person, oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing. It really, really is. And I know that they changed as the pumpkins sort of die, they change them out all the time. So this is an ongoing active exhibit that is constantly being refreshed and updated. It's incredible. If you are in the tri-state area or any willing to drive, it's really worth it. It's wonderful. And I think it starts end of September, like beginning of October, and runs through beginning to middle of November. I will link to the website down below for you. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. So that was a big highlight for us this month. And it's October. I can't talk about October without talking about Rhinebeck. It is Fiber Festival month, and I made was it a hard decision? No. I made the decision to not go to Rhinebeck this year, and I just wasn't ready. To put it as simple as possible, I was not ready, and for crowds, for people, for any of it, to be honest. And that was okay. That was really, really okay for me, and I was fine with that. In terms of stuff that's there, the yarn, the things you can buy, fiber, yarn, mugs, pins, bags, etc. All of that stuff is stuff that I can purchase online. Yes, the experience is very different, but if there's anything that I really want, I know that I could get it. So in terms of that side of a fiber festival, I had no problem not being a part of it. The people side of it, I knew I was going to miss it. but again, it was just the right decision for my family. Yeah, so that's why I did not go. And I remember seeing someone on Instagram talk about FOMO, like who's having Rhinebeck FOMO, and I was like, not me. I was sorry to miss some people, and people did reach out to me asking if I was going. Yeah, but everyone has been so supportive and so wonderful and understood why I wasn't. That said, there were other festivals going on. There was Indie Untangled, which again felt a little overwhelming for me, so I didn't go to that either. But my friend Carolyn, who's Bloom Handmade Studio, she was going to another fiber festival on, it was, what was the date? I don't remember. I'll have to double check on the calendar. I'll put it here on the screen. But so Rhinebeck was I'll tell you right now, Rhinebeck was 16th was the Saturday, 15th, 14th. So the 14th. It was October 14th, which was the Thursday before. And my friend Carolyn said that there was this other festival going on, Woolen Folk, Wool and Folk. And would I be interested in going? So I thought, I don't know. So I looked it up. It was on Instagram. I checked it out there. I went to the website. I'm looking. Tickets were still available. I had seen on Instagram some footage of the scenery of the location for the fair, for the festival. And I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. That looks really small. It was really small. It was really sort of a intimate, off the beaten path setting. And I thought, okay, maybe I can do that. And literally up to the evening before, I had a plan put in place to pick up the kids from school, drop off. I had all of that in place just in case. And that night, the Wednesday night, I said, all right, fine, I'm going to go. Bought my ticket and I went. It was in Kingston, New York, and it was hosted by Brooklyn General and String Thing Studio. And I can't tell you how happy I am that I made the decision to go. It was, you know when you don't know that you need something? I didn't know that I needed that. I didn't know that I needed to be around my people, to be around people that speak the same language. And this is how I always refer to Rhinebeck and to all of these fiber festivals. It's being around like-minded people. It's being around your people. We speak the same language. We get excited about the same things. The energy, everybody's energy is on or close and to each other. It's the one place where it's okay. Now, it's changed a little bit now, but it's fiber festivals have always been that place where it's okay to touch, whether it's the animals that are there, the yarn and fiber that you're looking at, or just each other. I know that sounds odd, but everyone's wearing these beautiful sweaters and shawls and garments, and it's okay to just, oh, do you mind if can I? And you're asking for permission to touch as you're already reaching in to touch. And it was so great to be back in that setting. It really was. I didn't honestly think that I missed it that much. Sorry, I'm going to my notes. I really didn't think that I missed it as much as I did. And as I was there that day, someone said, they phrased it perfectly, that it was the perfect re-entry festival. It was small. There were amazing vendors. It felt intimate, no crowds. You could move in the booths. Shelley Can was there. And I have seen Shelley at she's an amazing vendor. And I'll link to her right here or down below. And she's an amazing vendor. But every time I've seen her at a fiber festival or fair or event, you are literally like this in her booth. You have to keep your arms in and you're picking up your items, and then you go back out of the booth and wait on this endless line to pay for your things. And, you're kind of handing money around people that are standing in front of you, around you. And there was none of that. None of that. I could walk right up to her booth and take my time and look at something. And it was great. And I feel like the vendors that were there were going into it, of course, it's still an event. It's a paid event and people want to make money at these events, and that was understood. But I think people wanted to be back in that environment and get that feel, but without the overwhelmingness. And it was spot on. It was mission accomplished. It was exactly what like I said, I wanted, needed, and hoped that it would be. It was just fantastic. So I'm going to put some footage in for you here for you to enjoy and just get a feel for the day. Enjoy. There were a couple of amazing moments. There were a few amazing moments, but the most amazing moment was I was looking at a booth, so I'm facing this way, and backing the booth behind me, and it was a good distance away, and I'm looking at stuff and doing stuff, and then, I casually turn, and, I've got my knitting in my hand and my little backpack on, and I turn now, I'm facing this way, and I kind of do that. I kind of go, wait a minute. I know that person. There's this woman standing there, and I know her. And it wasn't just that I recognized her, like I felt her presence, if that makes sense. And I'm looking and I'm going, oh. Then I recognized her and thought, but it can't be her. It can't be who I'm thinking it is, because that person doesn't even live here. How can they be here? And she's looking at me and thinking, but I didn't think she was coming. Why is she here? We hadn't discussed the event, and I didn't know she was going. She didn't know I was going. And I think it was, again, to sort of maintain that quiet, maintain that anonymity. I just wanted to be a knitter that day. I wanted to be Denise. I didn't want to be EarthtonesGirl. And she wanted to be herself and not who she was. Okay, who was it? It was Mars. It was Hey Brownberry, my dear, one of my closest friends, was standing there. Oh my gosh. What? So there's this moment, this like movie moment where we're moving toward each other and the crowds part. There were no crowds, but just go with it. So the crowds kind of part, and we slowed down as we rushed into each other's arms, and there's this big hug, and we lean back and look at each other, and we hug again, and then we lean back and look at each other, and the tears are now flowing, and it was emotional. I'm getting emotional talking about it. It was emotional because I didn't realize I talk to Mars all the time. I mean, we're texting each other, we're on the phone, we're FaceTiming. I mean, we are friends, but I hadn't seen her. I hadn't seen her in over 2 years, and I didn't physically seen her, and I didn't realize how much I missed her until I was hugging her, and it was just, oh my gosh, there I go. It was overwhelming in such a great way, and she felt the same thing, and she was there helping Anne Cho, who owns Middlebrook Fiber Farm. I will link to them down below, and she sort of stood back and gave us some space, and other people that were in the booth realized what was happening and gave us space. And maybe I'm being a little dramatic in describing all of this, but it was a moment. It really was. And I realized again how much I missed the fiber festivals, how much I missed my friends, but it was more how much I missed my circle, my little tribe, my circle of friends. And I remember in 2019 at that Rhinebeck, there were a group of us that sort of went off the beaten path, and we found this little spot under a tree, and we were all just kind of laying in the grass on the leaves, kind of all bunched up together. Like my head was on someone's lap and someone had their head on my lap, and we're kind of knitting and talking and eating donuts and not really interacting with the crowds, just each other. And it was wonderful. And that's what I've missed. That's what I've needed. It feels sometimes, and it helped me to understand also the need when people are watching podcasts and watching tutorials and I don't want to say becoming attached to the podcaster, but it's that need for intimacy. It's that need for contact that I think so many of us are missing in our lives right now. Yes, it does feel like the world is returning to normal to some degree. I mean, movies are back and theaters are back and plays are back. But many of us, including myself, are still very cautious, and still holding back a little bit. And I've definitely been holding back. And I'm okay with that. But when I was in this situation then on Thursday, I realized how good it felt and how much I've missed it. And just being able to hug Mars and Anne and everybody as my phone starts. I'm in the moment and my phone starts to ring. I'll be right back. So sorry about that, everybody. I think the universe was telling me to just calm down a little bit. So it was a robocall. Of course it was. Of course. So I do understand why some people were really sad about missing the fairs this year. I get it. But going to Woolen Folk was just enough. It was just enough, just what I needed. And I was only there for about 3 hours. And by the time I decided to leave at the end of like 2.5 hours, 2:45 in, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm kind of done. But it was enough. It was enough to satisfy that need that I had. And I got back in my car, popped in my audiobook and drove home. And Kingston is just north of Rhinebeck. And, so it was about 2 hours round trip, 2 hours each way, to get there. So 4 hours round trip, a lot of driving, but that was nice too. That having that break and having that time during the day was also good for me. Just little time away from the kids, away from home, got to be at the fiber fair, but then not too much. Then I had that 2 hours to sort of decompress and reset and come back home. And it was perfect. It was just perfect. So to Brooklyn General, to String Thing Studio, thank you for this wonderful event. It felt safe. It felt spacious and wide open. I'm really grateful for all of the work that went into that and making it feel so comfortable and perfect. So thank you. So seeing Mars and Socktober. Let's move this into knitting now. Socktober is almost over. I am so sad about that. I'm sad to see Socktober. I mean, my whole year is all about sock knitting. So it's just really fun. It's been really fun doing lives with Mars. So Maker Minutes Socktober. Maker Minutes is what Mars and I have created, and it's our way of sharing our love of sock knitting, or mittens, which is what we did last year, or the beginning of the year, our love of fiber and making with the community, with the fiber community. And this year we've been focusing on heavier weight socks, and it's really been a lot of fun. So before I get into my socks, I do want to talk about something that I found at the fiber fair. I'm backtracking a little bit. The phone sort of interrupted me. One thing, I found 3 books there. I actually bought 5 books, but came away with 3 because 2 of them are on back order. So they're coming, but I'll save the best for last. One of them that I found is The Old Hand Knitters of the Dales. I found this beauty. Sorry. Oh, there we go. If I pull it in, it's blowing out just a little bit. Found this book. I am a collector of classic, traditional books about classic and traditional knitting. So this is, just to read just briefly the description on the back. The centuries-old craft of knitting has left behind few lasting traces. Knitting was such an everyday occurrence for so many people who often left little historical record, that we are left with many unanswered questions about the early days of the craft. It is no wonder then that The Old Hand Knitters of the Dales became an instant classic from the first time it was published in 1951. Yorkshire natives Marie Hartley and Joan Ingleby interview dozens of local knitters, chronicling the skill and habits of a people who continued to produce hand knits prodigiously even as the Industrial Revolution chugged on around them. Now, more than 60 years later, historian Penelope Lister Hemingway has revived this charming out-of-print classic with a new forward, photographs of original Dales knits, and a gorgeous reconstructed glove pattern that you can make yourself to relive this fascinating moment in knitting history. This book is such a gem. It's just, these beautiful, charming hand carvings and drawings. It's just a history. It's basically a history of knitting and the people and the time. Let me see if I can find a picture of the mittens here. Yeah, here they are. So this is George Walton gloves, and that is a picture of the mittens then that are on the cover. I saw this book and got so excited. This is late night reading for me. I listen to my audiobooks on Audible, but the history of knitting, how things started, where they came from, why the people do what they do, the origins of things, that's what lights me up. And this is what I get so excited about. So excited. So that was an amazing find. And then I found this book, Bigfoot Knits by Andy Smith. Not going to read the back, but this is just a book, a beautiful collection of sock patterns. But also, what's really amazing is it's also a workbook. So this is it has these workbook sheets for sampling and creating different sock patterns. Here, your own custom fit socks. And here is a workbook, your worksheet rather. Oh my gosh. There's 5 different styles of toe in here. How to measure your foot, how to take down your stitch, and all of your information that you can plug into this formula and get your own custom fit. Oh my gosh. There's so much information in this book. It is just amazing. It was just sitting there. I'd actually never even heard of this, but jumped on it. So I will link to this. All of these books I will link down below. The vendor that was selling these was Cooperative Press. Thank you so much for making these books available. We have to support companies like this, you guys. So I will link to this down below. If you're looking for something that is very, very user-friendly, easy to understand. Look at these socks. Just, oh my gosh. Beautiful. There's another pair. I can't stand it. They're gorgeous. So yes, that is another one. And okay, this one I actually squealed. I did my little, as many of you comment on here, I did my little squealing when I saw this. And the title of the book is What Would Madame Defarge Knit? 21 patterns and essays inspired by classic literature. Little known fact about me, everyone. I was an English lit major in college. I was originally a nursing major, and I had a moment in one class where I suddenly realized if I make a mistake as a nurse, I could potentially kill somebody. And that realization hit me like a ton of bricks, and I thought, okay, too much responsibility. I don't want this right now. Changed my major to my love, which has always been a love of mine, which is the written word, and I moved over to English Lit. No regrets, never looked back. And to find a book like this, I mean, I've seen knitting patterns based on books and poems and things like that, but to have it all in one place and to have the designers share their thoughts behind their designs. This is Wolfslayer, Little Red Riding Hood by the Brothers Grimm. So here's the pattern, and here's the inspiration and the story, and I mean, I can't even tell you what a treasure this is. I'm excited, doesn't even begin to cover it. So this is book 1, What Would Madame Defarge Knit? And Madame Defarge, for those of you who may not know, a character in the book, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, works the names of the condemned into her knitting as she sits near the overactive revolutionary guillotine. So this woman sat there. This is a character from the book who sat by the guillotine, and as she was knitting, she knit the names of the condemned into the scarf or thing that she was knitting. I remember helping somebody with that project many, many years ago. They were knitting a prop for a play. It's my friend Karen. She lives in Minneapolis, and they were doing A Tale of Two Cities, and she was approached to knit this prop. And she reached out to me, and the two of us were working together to come up with a design and a font and really make it look authentic to the time. It was such an amazing project to work on, and she had to have the project in 2 stages. So the beginning of the play, she had to be knitting, and the piece had to be maybe that long. And then she's seen again later in the story, so it had to be a lot longer. And just it was just so much fun. So this is the kind of thing that so again, part 1. Part 2 is What Else Would Madame Defarge Knit? And part 3, Madame Defarge does Shakespeare, or takes on Shakespeare. Thank you, Cooperative Press. I know what I will be doing this winter. I've already started reading this. The patterns are available. There's just sketches right now. Like here is Jane's Ubiquitous Shawl. So these are just sketches of the designs. The patterns are here, but to see a visual, an actual knitted up sample, the patterns are available on Ravelry. So, and I know that you can buy the book as a hard copy. There's also PDFs available. So I was sent the PDF to the other 2, but this book as well as the other 2, but the hard copies will be sent to me. And to say I'm excited, I don't usually share my purchases from fairs and festivals, just even day to day. I just don't, but I had to share these 3 books because excited. So, yes, so still in keeping with all of the knitting, Falling Leaf Sock Cal, Socktober, everything is coming to an end this weekend. Socktober ends on the 31st on Halloween, and Falling Leaves ends on November 1st. So that is Monday. I will be going live on Monday on Instagram. I will be announcing the winners of the Cal and the November winner, as well as a grand prize winner. So I'll be giving out 2 prizes, maybe even 3, just whoever is on the live. I may do another just spontaneous giveaway. So if you are on Instagram, please come on over and join me there. And if you're on Instagram, keep using the hashtag. Keep posting your pictures. I know a lot of people I've been watching. I've been a little quiet on Instagram this week, but over the last couple of days, but people are still tagging me on their posts and their finished socks. So please continue to do that. And yeah, I'm loving all of the sock knitting that's going on. It's wonderful. So thank you for that. I am teaching. Let's talk about Vogue for just one moment. I am teaching one more time, November 13th, which I believe is the Saturday. I am teaching sock knitting tips and tricks one more time, and Sock Heels 101, which one, when, and why, one more time. And then I'm taking a couple of months off, and I'm going to try to revamp those classes. So if you've wanted to take the class, I will link to the registration down below. Like I said, it will be my last time teaching for a few months. Just going to enjoy the season, the holiday season, and just take a break, because it's good to take breaks and change things up a little bit. So again, I will link to that down below. And I've been talking a lot. I've been sharing a lot of footage and talking, but let's see some knitting. I do have, so as I was saying before, oops, I just moved my camera. Sorry, everybody. As I was saying before, Maker Minutes has really focused on heavier weight socks, and that's been a really big theme that I'm seeing in sock knitting right now, the use of heavier weights. And I talked about that in my last episode. And I finished a pair of socks. Ta-da! Here they are. These are my, this is It's Fall is the name of this colorway. These are my DK weight socks. DK self-striping, y'all. These flew off the needles. I knit these 2 at a time. Here we go. Let's keep looking. These were so fun to knit. I knit them 2 at a time, top down, 2 at a time. I used Julianne Knitter, who is Twin Stitch Designs. I used her pattern Perfect DK Weight Socks. Sorry, just checking the time. Perfect DK Weight Socks. And love these socks so much. The squish factor in these is just, oh my gosh. They're comfortable. The fit is perfect. I just, the contrasting, I did contrasting cuff and toe to match, and she had also included the green mini, so I just decided to do the heels just because, why not? And I also didn't, have enough of the burgundy color, this burgundy stripe, to do the heels, and I didn't want to run out, so I just decided to do them green. But here they are. This colorway is, again, It's Fall, and the dyer is Socktober, and I will link to her down below as well. But I love them. I love them so much. I did my shadow wrap heel, or did the shadow wrap heel, and I just want to say for one moment, the shadow wrap heel is not my heel, you guys. I was told about that heel and went down the rabbit hole, watched some videos, read some instructions, and thought, I want to share this in my own way with my viewers and with the people that have been taking my No Fear Sock Knitting class. But I don't claim to have created that heel. I just want to say that, because a lot of people are referring to it as Denise's heel or EarthtonesGirl's heel. It is not mine. I just want to say that at least once. I don't think I have yet. I've implied it and thought it was understood, but I just want to say that out loud here publicly on my vlog, on my podcast, that it is not my heel. The shadow wrap heel has been out there shadow wrap short rows have been out there for heaven only knows how long. I just decided to create a tutorial, put it into a sock pattern, and share my experience with that heel with all of you. So that said, I did put it into this DK weight sock, and it was just, the fit is perfect. It's just perfect. So here are my socks. I used a size 3, a US 3, which I think was a 3.25 millimeter needle, I think. But it's US 3 needle, and it's a size 3 needle. I will double check and put it in the show notes what the millimeters are, for anybody going by the millimeters and not by the size. So I will add that down below for you. Yes. Okay. So I did want to share another version of the shadow wrap heel. So I'm going to go grab that because I realized I don't have that in front of me. So I'll be right back. I'm back. As I'm putting the sock on the blocker, I just wanted to say the blockers that I had the DK weight socks on. I'm going to hold that back up again for you. I'm just going to take it off the blocker. Isn't this gorgeous? This is my Falling Leaves sock blocker. And this was made by Knitting Left. I will link to her down below. I have another sock blocker behind me that has little witches on it, and that was also done. Let's see if I can grab it without falling off the chair. Hang on. Here is my other one, my Wool Witch sock blocker and my Falling Leaves. These are both by Knitting Left. I love them so much. Wait, let me put my hand behind so you can really see the little sock and the cauldron. It's so cute. And I love the little heart that she puts into the heel. And here is the Falling Leaves. Perfectly appropriate for the season. So, okay, the other sock that I'm working on, now that I'm looking at it again, sorry, having a moment of talking to myself. I've been getting my sock exploration. Let me slow down, take a breath. My sock exploration that I started at the beginning of this year is ongoing. I don't know that will ever truly end. And this is part of that sock exploration. Someone was asking, I've had people ask me about knitting the shadow wrap heel in garter stitch. Here it is. Here is the heel. Is it on the camera? Here is the heel in garter stitch, you guys. Now, I can't tell you how much fun this was to knit, but I do have a little problem with it. The two sides, there are no holes. There are no holes at all with this heel, but the two sides don't match exactly. They're actually, one is convex, one side's convex, one side's concave. Am I saying that right? So here is one side. Here is the other. Now, they may look the same to you, but I'm going to pop this off the sock blocker. And I think once it's off the blocker, you can see a little bit better. Can you see that there's a dip in here? So this dips slightly, and on this side, it bubbles out. So I think this is the convex side. This is the concave. Because I remember the cave dipping because you go in the cave. Am I right? I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so they complement, if you look this way, they complement each other and almost sit. Yeah, then you can really see it. They sit in each other perfectly, but the two sides are not 100% symmetrical. Does that bug me? I know it shouldn't. I mean, here it is again. The heel is beautiful and I love it. I'm so proud of this, but it is bugging me slightly. If you look this way, it is bugging me slightly. You can really see it now. This side dips and this side rounds out. It's driving me crazy. So I have started the second one that I've ripped and knit and ripped and knit and ripped and knit. Because you are knitting you're knitting every row. So you're knitting on the purl side, picking up the twin stitch, that leg of the stitch on the purl side is a little different because it's in garter. So picking it up, you have to pick it up in a slightly different way. You can't pick it up the regular way because your yarn is always to the back when you're doing it in garter stitch. So finding a smooth way to make the sides, and there may not be. Maybe one of you out there have figured it out. If you have, please, I'm way open to suggestions. So please leave your suggestions or email me. And I like when we learn together. That's what this is about. So I'm still playing with this. I want to continue playing to come up with a way to make the two sides match. So yeah, it is a work in progress. And again, here's the second one. Here's my yarn. Here's my sock. This yarn is non-superwash. It is 100% wool. It's Portuguese wool. It is Mondim, Mondim is the name of this yarn. And I believe Tracy Miller, who is one of the grocery girls, did a beautiful sock pattern in this yarn in this color. I will link to that down below, and I will try to put a picture of that here. For those of you that may be thinking, oh, I've seen that pattern or that yarn somewhere before, it is such a rich, beautiful yellow. And I have 3 balls of this. So yeah, I'm just kind of playing. And I've been working on something else that I'll share a little bit later when I'm a little further into it. With rainbow colors, and this yellow was just so perfect. So it is a work in progress. I do like it, and I may leave it. I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? Am I being too fussy, too picky, a little obsessive? Let me know. I'm sure you will let me know. So let me know what you think. But yes, that has been ongoing. What else do I have? Another whip is, and as always, I will link to everything down below. My other whip, so that's a half finished project. And here is my current whip. Loving this so much. This yarn is Dear Great Pumpkin. And for those Charlie Brown fans out there, is this not perfect? It's so perfect. This is Charlie Brown. It's Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin, in a skein of yarn. Like, I couldn't be happier with this. I love it so much. And this is on her Targhee base. So it's 90% Targhee, 10% nylon. And I've knit with this. I did a pair called Percolated. Also, this is Woolens and Nosh. Sorry, I realized I hadn't said the dyer. This is Woolens and Nosh is the dyer. Dear Great Pumpkin is the colorway. And I had knit with this base from Woolens and Nosh before in the percolated, when I did her percolated socks, and that colorway. I can't begin. If you have an opportunity to get your hands on some of this, it is delicious. It is amazing yarn. It's a heavier fingering weight. So I've reduced my stitch count from 64 to 60. And the fit is perfect. When I tried it with 64 stitches in this weight, the sock was a little too baggy. It was fine and it worked, but more as a boot sock. I'm still going to wear these with boots, but I also have the option to put it in a regular shoe and it fits. So reduced the stitch count by 4, down from 64 to 60, still on a 2.25. So the fabric in this is really dense and beautiful. Oh, just, so this is my current whip, as well as many, many, many others. Because I don't know any knitters out there that just have one whip going on at a time. But yeah, that is everything. Whew. I think this is kind of a meaty episode. It's been so good to catch up. November starts on Monday. Oh my gosh. So we're moving into, so I feel like September is return to routine and return to school, return to more mental organization for me. And then you move into October, and October is enjoying the seasons and the colors, and, you know, things are getting cozier and cooler outside, although we've had really warm temperatures. And then November begins, I feel like the holiday season sort of starts to begin for me in November. It's a month of gratitude and reflection and quiet. Holy cow, I was talking and all of a sudden my camera just shut off. I'm so sorry, everybody. Wow, I have no idea what happened there. But anyway, I'm here. So I was saying I feel like November is a time of reflection and quiet, and the days are getting cooler, the days are getting darker, the days are getting shorter, and it becomes a time of family for me and prepping for the holidays, things like that. So I am hoping to share a lot of that with you, and be back on Instagram a little bit more. It's just, this month has just been I've been quiet on Instagram a little bit, and it's interesting. Instagram went out it was Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. I think that was last week or week before, but the site crashed and was out for pretty much the entire day. I was actually on a live. It was a Monday, and Mars and I were doing a live. It was the first one, so almost 3 weeks ago now, and it was the first one we were doing for Maker Minutes, Socktober, and in the middle of our live, Instagram just stopped working, and it didn't come back on until really late that night. I can't begin to tell you how productive I was, you guys, how much I got done at home, how much I got done personally, how much work I got done, knitting I got done. And it really made me stop and think about how much time is eaten and consumed and hoovered by social media. It was a really big wake-up call for me. This is just my reflection, my thoughts on the situation, and it freed me. I have to say, it freed me. It made me realize I don't have to be on Instagram every single day. I don't have to post every single day. I don't have to do Insta stories every single day. And people who want to follow me will still follow me, and people that want this will just move on. And those that do want a slower pace will find me. It was freeing. It was really freeing. I've learned a lot this month about time and respecting time and what's important. And I really want to carry that into November and into future episodes here. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. I will be on Instagram though, of course, because I am, and I will be here. I haven't put up a blog post in a little while, so I'm hoping to do that. So just stay tuned. There's more coming from EarthtonesGirl. There will be stuff coming from Denise, and happy October, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today, for dealing with lighting and camera dying out, but this was fun. I had a really good time being here. So, thanks for joining me. Thanks for visiting. Happy knitting, happy making, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.